Okay, I think looks like got a pretty good group here, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. So hello everyone, glad that everyone could join us today. Again, my name's Eric Schmitz, and presenting along with me today is Joyce Nichols. If you've joined us before, you know that Training Solutions has been in the ACT software training and consulting business for nearly 20 years. Today we'd like to go over the new opportunity features released with version 21 and how you can use these features to better track your sales through your entire sales process. And since this webinar is just 20 minutes, Joyce will go through pretty quick, but remember, we'll send a link with the video the next day or two, and you can watch it again or share it with your colleagues. And just a side note that Joyce will be using ACT for Windows. However, if you use ACT for Web, look and feel might be a little different, but should work the same. And real quick, we just want to emphasize that this feature, the opportunities, is definitely the most underutilized we've found. And so, if you're not sure where to start with this, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you out. So just a quick overview. I'm sure you can see the slide now, but just of what we're covering today. The new pipeline view is really cool. It's a nice graphical illustration of how your sales are moving through the process. There's a nice sales funnel that you can toggle between the total count or total value of your sales that are open. There's some nice KPIs. There's 8 standard out of the box. There's also a feature that Joyce will show. You can add your own custom KPIs. They've added some filters so that you can narrow down what you're seeing by rep, sales stage, date range, etc. And then the opportunity list view is improved as well with KPIs at the top, and again the filter menu to the side, which will display all the different filters you can use. One quick note, we won't be monitoring and answering questions during this presentation, but please enter them. If you have any, enter them in the question box, and we'll be sure to respond to you via email in the next day or two. And with that being said, Joyce will take it from here, and we hope you enjoyed today's webinar.
Thank you, Eric. And I'd like to welcome you also to the webinar. As Eric said, we find a lot of people aren't familiar with opportunities. Opportunities is where you can keep track of your potential sales and follow them through the pipeline. But as we're discussing this today, the new features, I want you to think kind of outside of the box. You might not be in a situation where you're selling products, but perhaps you have projects that you're working on. So again, you can follow your projects through different stages as well. We've created several webinars that are on our website. It's trainingsolutionsinc.com. And then we have past webinars where we've shown you how to create and use opportunities. So I want to just very, very quickly go through just the kind of the highlights of your opportunities. So I'm going to click on the opportunities on the left-hand nav bar. And when you create opportunities, what you determine are your sales processes. So this company is CH Tech 1. So we have a sales process where we sell product, and then we also sell service contracts. So once you decide on your sales process, then you decide on the stage. So what stages does my company go through when they're in the sales process? Again, these are just examples that ACT gives you. And then once you decide those those stages, then you'll give the stages a weighted total. So for instance, if you're in the needs assessment stage, you might have a 30% chance of closing the sale. So you'll give these percentages of close, and then that will give you your probability of close that will interact with your weighted total. And then what you'll do is you'll also create your products, and this can be easily imported. So if you have a list of products, we can help you easily import those products. So just a real quick overview of just kind of the highlights of the opportunity. So let's go ahead and create an opportunity. One of the biggest mistakes that I see users creating or making is they're not starting the opportunity from the contact. So make sure you're on the contact record when you create the opportunity, and we'll just click on opportunities and then create the new opportunity right from here. So again, remember, opportunities you want to create from your contact record. Let's go ahead and jump into the new features now with version 21. I'm going to go back to opportunities. And if you're used to using opportunities, you'll notice that there is a new view called the pipeline view. So let's take look at our list view first. Any list view in ACT, whether it's the contacts, the companies, the list view will always give you a spreadsheet-like view of the data that you're choosing to look up. As with any list view in ACT, you can customize the fields that you're seeing. In the new list view, if you click on the options, so on the upper right, you have the options button, and you can click customize columns. Here you can add fields to your view, or you can remove fields. Perhaps I want to see the estimated close date. Again, that's already in here. Perhaps I don't need to see the days and stage, so again, I can easily remove that. And a newer feature in customizing columns that, again, if you're using ACT, you may not know this new feature, and that's freezing columns. So perhaps I'd like to freeze the first 3 columns, my contact and my company and my status. And again, this works like Excel does with freezing columns. Those columns will stay static as you scroll to the left and scroll to the right. All right, you'll see KPIs across the top, key performance indicators. Those are new. And again, ACT is providing dynamic sales tools for you to use, and these KPIs are the roll-up of your sales metrics, depending on what you have set for your filters. You'll notice on the right-hand side of the screen, you have filters, and you can expand or collapse those filters. So you can decide the date range. So maybe I want to see what I have for the current quarter or for the next quarter. Again, filters are totally customizable, and these filters are customizable by user and not database. So that means that each user could have their own settings. And then we are looking at the status. Perhaps I just want to see my open opportunities. I can decide the sales process. I can look at any stage, and I can filter by the probability of close and also my total value. I can select which users I want to see. So if you're the sales manager, you probably want to see all your sales staff. Again, maybe you're just the salesperson and you want to see just what you have in your pipeline. So again, you would select the appropriate user that you'd like to see. So let's take a look at these KPIs. Again, this is a roll-up of metrics with your filter. So again, I think they're mostly pretty self-explanatory. I really like this particular KPI. That's the average opportunity age. How long are my opportunities taking to close from my create date to my close date? Do I need to work on moving my opportunities more quickly through the pipeline? Let's take a look at this close rate and the closed won value and the closed lost. This is 0% because I'm just looking at my open status. So I'm going to click the drop down, and again, then I can choose my closed won, and then I can now see my close rate and my closed won value. So as Eric said, or in the slide indicated, ACT gives you 8 out-of-the-box KPIs, but you may want to add your own KPI. That's where you can click this gear. These are the 8 custom KPIs. Perhaps you're not interested in looking at your closed lost value. So you can easily remove any KPI, and then you can easily rearrange your KPIs, the order of your KPI. You can add a custom KPI. Perhaps I want to calculate the average gross margin. So I'm going to create the label for my KPI. And this is going to be the gross margin. And I can either average or sum. I'm going to choose to average. I'm going to add that KPI. Now I want to add it to my view, so I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to move it up. So again, it's very easy to create your own KPIs. So now you'll see it in my KPI. Let's take a look next at the pipeline view. And again, if you're using ACT in the past, this will be a dramatic departure, a dramatic difference from what you're used to seeing. The pipeline view is designed really to help you project your revenue, to adjust your strategy, and to quickly focus your efforts in a graphical representation. So you'll have your filters again. What is your date range, your sales process, the stages of your opportunity, again, the probabilities, the value, again, filter for what it is you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and close this filter pane. In the upper right quadrant, you'll see your KPIs. And then in the upper left quadrant, you'll see your sales pipeline. And this is really a nice graphical representation of what you've chosen in your filters. I can look at this in two different ways. Notice I can see my dollar amount of my potential sales, but I can also look at it using the count. So how many do I have in each particular stage? So by value and also by count. And it's very easy to, I think I'll just look at what's in my negotiation, commitment to buy, sales fulfillment stage. So I can easily deselect or select the stages that I'd like to see. And again, by hovering over, I can see the total dollar amount, but also I can see that here, the total dollar amount or the count. What you'll notice at the bottom, you have your board that has your different sales opportunities. These are the different stages that you have for your sales process. And again, you can deselect or select what you want to see. The percentages that you're seeing here are the percentage, that's the probability of close. So again, if I'm in the commitment to buy stage, these are 80%, I have an 80% chance of closing the sale. You can sort each column by the opportunity name, the contact name, the company, the estimated close date, or the estimated value of the opportunity. So perhaps I want to select and I want to have my estimated close date. I want to have those organized so I know which are closer to closing than others. If I want to find more information about the opportunity, I can just click on the drop-down arrow and see the name, the dollar amount of the sale, and the estimated close date. And this is so much nicer than using ACT in the past where you had to physically look up an opportunity to find this information. Now it's just visual. You just can click it. And then if you want more information about the opportunity, I'm just going to click that opportunity, and that'll take me right to the detail view. Now what you're seeing here is, again, the total opportunity. Here's the weighted total. I'm in the presentation phase. I have a 40% chance of closing that sale. These are the fields that ACT gives you out of the box. But remember that one of the great things about ACT is that it's totally customizable. So I would really encourage you to add fields where the information that you need to keep for a particular sale or when you're selling. So maybe you need to keep, we have people who have added, I have a client who has added 30 fields because it's the information that they need to keep track of for their sales opportunities. So again, make sure that you are customizing ACT to what you need. So to go back to the pipeline view, all I do is to click. And again, perhaps I'm in the initial communication stage of this particular for Ace Pet Store franchises, and I want to take a look at the history associated with this, or perhaps I want to take a look at the quotes that are attached to this. No more looking up. All I have to do is to click that opportunity, and I'm taken so I can now look at the histories associated with that opportunity. Perhaps there are some schematics and quotes attached to that opportunity. I can easily access them by just clicking on the Documents tab. I also can drag and drop my opportunities through different stages. In the past, we had to look up the opportunity and we had to manually click the drop down and change the opportunity stage. But now I can easily drag and drop. So perhaps Continental Energy is now in a commitment to buy stage. All I need to do is to drag and drop it. Perhaps we've closed the sale for Brescia's Golfing World. All I need to do is to drag and drop. And I can easily move. Again, these are dynamic. I can easily move by dragging and dropping my opportunities through the stages. So that was a real quick overview of the new opportunity features in V21. So Eric, I'm going to give it back to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joyce. So again, thanks everyone for joining us. We hope that we realize it was pretty quick, but again, it's recorded, so you can certainly go through it again. Hope you picked up some helpful tips. And as we've often mentioned, if you need further training or consulting, anything of that nature, please, happy to help. Please reach out to us. And again, thanks for attending.